Sci-Fi Invasion. I'm Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this, in this 50 movie box set from Mill Creek in 50 weeks. Today's movie was called Brother from Another Planet from 1984. Going into this movie, I was pretty excited. I wouldn't say I'm like an expert or an enthusiast for blaxploitation films. I do very much enjoy them. A long time ago, one of my friends, a very talented YouTuber named Aficionados Chris, said that I should make a series of videos discussing blaxploitation films. And that's a fun idea and all, but I'm not really knowledgeable on blaxploitation in general. I have a select few that I really like. Anything with Fred Williamson, I'm going to go after. I love Shaft, Superfly, things like that. Edie Wheatstraw, like Rudy Ray Moore movies. But in the grand scheme of things, I have a very cursory knowledge of it. I just enjoy them. So when I saw the title Brother from Another Planet, I got excited. I was like, oh, this will be a nice change of pace. It's not a blaxploitation film. It's actually oddly serious. You think a title like Brother from Another Planet from the 1980s. Now, if this was from the 1970s, I think it would play. You would think it would be played a little bit more straight. But this is an 80s movie where blaxploitation started to fall off. So I would assume it would be more self-referential, and I was expecting it to be like a more subdued version of Black Dynamite, essentially. And that's not what I got. And it's not a bad thing per se, but the fact that it is not a particularly funny movie hurts it. It's very middle of the road. It has funny moments in it. I would say the humor would be more comparable to something like Batteries Not Included. I realize that's a deep cut, but that's really the only thing I can think of. It has a very like Steven Spielberg sense of humor, like 1980s Steven Spielberg sense of humor. The problem with this movie is that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense as the things are happening. Like a good chunk of it, you're like, what's going on? And then an hour later, you're like, oh, that's what that previous scene meant. I just didn't know what was happening at the time, and I think that really hurts it. It might benefit from a second viewing, but there's not enough here for me to make me want to have a second viewing of it. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The main character in this movie is simply called the Brother. That's his name, and the brother is from another planet, as the title suggests. He crash lands, and the opening of this movie looks like the intro to Knight Rider with all the blinking lights. But he crash lands, and the brother is played by, I forget his name. He was the doctor in Terminator 2, and he was also a doctor in the show Eureka. And he's a good actor. I don't think this really showcases that, but he's a good actor, and it's very weird when it opens up, because it opens up with him like his legs being cut off in the spaceship crash, and he's hopping around, and I'm like, okay, there's potentially some humor here with him only having one leg. Doesn't really do anything with it. And his leg eventually grows back, and it's revealed that the only sign that you can tell, outward sign that you can tell that he's an alien, is that he has 3 toes. That's an interesting element, I suppose. The characters around the brother make the movie more interesting. There's a lot of character actors, a lot of people in here that I'm like, oh, I recognize that face. Don't know his name, but I recognize his face. There's one actor that I've seen, I think he's in Batteries Not Included. He's also in the Flash TV series from the 90s. He's a very popular character actor. I feel bad I don't remember his name. But that's the kind of actor he is. You recognize his face, don't know his name. And he's a lot of fun. But there's a lot of moments in this that just really tank the movie for me, because it's revealed that the brother has special powers where he can heal people with his touch, or he can fix arcade machines just with his touch. And there's a part in the movie that I think the movie really took a downward turn, where he finds a little boy, probably like 14 at the oldest. He finds a little boy with a needle stuck in his arm, dead, and he overdosed. And you'd think that the brother would take the needle out, touch the boy, and bring him back to life. Not what happens. The brother takes the needle out and injects himself with the stuff, and hi Quentin, and he he gets high and he roams around New York, all high and stuff, and then he meets a Jamaican, and the Jamaican talks a lot of stuff to him, and then the Jamaican steals his shoes, and it really seems like that scene happened for no reason until you get to the last 10 minutes of the movie. And then it all kind of comes together because it's a lot of scenes that just happen, but then you realize that a bunch of the movie is him trying to find a drug lord, but that's not made clear at all because the brother doesn't talk. And he finds the brother the brother finds the drug lord at the end of the movie. He takes out his eyeball and shows him all the people he's hurt. So then, like, oh, okay, that's why all this was happening. And then there's a subplot about two men in black trying to capture the brother because he's a fugitive from another planet. And all this stuff is, like, interesting on its own, but there's no real connective tissue to make any of it make any sense. It's not weird enough to be funny. And while it is a well-made movie, it's just not entertaining. It's more... It seems like it'd be more fun to have, like, a very... a comedy-style review based off of it, more than actually watching it on its own. I don't think this is a fun movie to watch with friends. It's just a weird little anomaly. Wanted to like it more than I did, but you know, that's the kind of the Russian roulette of this little experiment I'm doing. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'm Joey Hollywood. I'll see you next time. Remember, please be kind and rewind.